I will tell you 5 things that happened to me and to people I know, and I will keep my voice calm while I tell them. But please listen carefully, because every story has the same warning inside it. If you hear your name from the dark, do not answer. If you see a face that looks almost human, do not stare. If something moves like a person but bends like a broken animal, do not follow. I learnt this the hard way in an abandoned building one hot summer night. And after that, the other stories found me. Or maybe the thing found me, too. 1. I found a skinwalker in an abandoned building. The place used to be a small hospital. The paint peeled like sunburned skin, the elevator shaft was open and black, and the hall smelled like dust and wet paper. My friend Amir said, "Let's film a short clip and go." We used our phone flashlights. We spoke in low voices so the sound would be clean. Everything was simple until we reached the maternity ward. All the doors there had tiny windows, and every window was dark like a dead eye. We heard footsteps behind us, slow and careful. We turned. No one was there. Then a voice came from the next room. It sounded like my mother. She said my name, the way she does when she wants me to come to the kitchen. Soft and kind. My scalp turned cold. My mother was at home, not in a dead hospital in the middle of the night. Amir whispered, "It's a trespasser trying to scare us." He pushed the door and it swung open. The room had a broken bed and a sink with brown stains. My phone light hit the far wall and caught a shape in the corner. It was a man, maybe, too tall and too thin. The neck was turned too far to the side, like it had more joints than a human neck should have. It did not breathe, but the chest moved a little, like something inside it was shifting around. Then it called my name again, but the lips did not move. The sound came from the throat, like a recording played backward. Amir said, "Hello, who's there?" The head untwisted, and the eyes looked at us. The eyes were wrong. They were dark and flat, not like eyes with wet shine. It took 1 step toward us. The foot came down sideways. The ankle bent the wrong way. The skin made a quiet rubber sound. "I smelled blood and hot copper," I said. "We leave now." I took Amir's sleeve. The thing said my name again, now in my own voice. It copied me from 5 minutes earlier when I said, "Let's keep the camera rolling." It laughed softly in the exact same tone. I do not know why, but hearing my own voice come out of that long throat made my knees shake. We backed into the corridor. I kept my light low. I did not look into its face. We walked fast without running, because running makes animals chase. At the stairwell, the metal door was stuck. Amir shoved it open. The hinge screamed. The sound bounced down the shaft. We went down 3 flights. We heard the slow feet above us. Tick, 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 like fingers. On metal, on the ground floor, a stray cat hissed into the dark and ran. We ran too. We did not speak until we reached the car. In the car, my phone buzzed and a new voice memo appeared. I did not record it. I pressed play. The memo was 20 seconds of my mother calling my name under the sound of hospital wheels. Moving, we never went back, and we never said the name of that thing out loud in the night again. To the wrong footsteps on the stairs. Month later, I stayed in an old apartment building. The power went out at midnight. The hallway was warm and quiet. I opened my door a little to let air move. From the stairwell I heard someone walking up, but the rhythm was not right. 3 fast steps, 1 slow, then a pause, like the person forgot how to climb. I looked through the peephole and saw the back of a head. The hair was short and neat, like my neighbor Bilal. I relaxed. Then I noticed something small and simple. He was facing my door, but I was seeing the back of his head. The neck was too long, turned the wrong way. It spoke in Bilal's voice. "Hey, Can you help me with a box? It said my name. 2. I did not answer. The rule from the hospital came back. The mouth it used was not the mouth I could see. The voice was smooth and close, but the peephole showed no lips moving. A hand came into view and tapped my door. 1, 2, 3. A long nail clicked on the wood. Then the hand turned and pressed the peephole. The glass went dark and warm. I stepped back and held my breath. The tapping moved down the hall, and then down the stairs. 3 fast, 1 slow. Pause. In the morning, I saw long smears on the door, like someone had pressed a warm, dusty forehead there for a long time. I asked Bilal if he needed help last night. He said he was out of the city. He showed me a selfie from a bus. Behind him, I saw a window, and in the reflection, very small, there was a face over his shoulder looking into the phone. The eyes were wrong, flat and dark. 3. The voice under the bridge. My cousin drives a delivery van. He told me this story with a steady face. He was crossing the old river bridge at 2 a.m. Fog sat low over the water like white smoke. He heard a woman crying for help under the bridge. He parked and climbed down the concrete steps with his phone light. He could not see the woman, but the voice kept calling. Help, help. Someone pushed me. I broke my ankle. She said his name. He did not tell her his name. He walked to the bottom step and stopped. The river moved slow. The voice came again. Closer now. I am here. I am in the water. Please give me your hand. He held his light low and swept the beam across the river skin. Something was there, flat and long like a log. It had hair on one end, wet and slick. It moved with the current. But against the current too, one part of it pressed up to the bank, and white fingers touched the mud. The fingers were too many, 7, maybe 8. They curled in and left clean holes in the mud. He remembered a trick he heard from an old fisherman. If something calls you from the water, throw it a rope. Do not give it your hand. He found a bundle of tie straps in his van. He knotted them into a line and tossed the free end. The fingers reached for it, missed. And then the voice turned rough and low. You do not want to help, do you? It said his name again, but now it used my voice. He dropped the rope and stepped back. The thing moved away without a splash. The fog swallowed it. In the morning, he found the tie straps on his van roof, tied into neat loops like a child's paper chain. For the broken radio at the campsite, 2 friends and I went camping near a pine forest. The ground was dry and the sky was clean. We set up a small fire and played an old FM radio we found in the cabin. It only caught static and a little music late at night. At 3 a.m. the radio made a click and a voice came through. Not a song. It said, help me, please, my leg. My tent collapsed. I am cold. It said the name of my friend, Sana. The voice was gentle, like her mother. It sounded close, not like a broadcast. Sana stood up and called back. Mum, is that you? The voice said. Yes, Beta, come. I am near the creek. Bring the light. The creek was a 5-minute walk in the trees. We looked at each other. I turned the radio off. It turned itself on again. The same voice kept asking for help, and between words we heard small clicks like teeth on metal. Sana frowned. She said, my mum is at home. She showed us a text. 10:20 p.m. Good night, love. The radio voice spoke again, but this time it used my voice. It said, Sana, I see you. Come alone, I am hurt. Do not tell them. That was when we heard footsteps around the tent. Soft steps on pine needles, circling. A face pressed the nylon from outside. The nose flattened. The mouth made a smile too wide. I kept the flashlight on the ground and did not raise it to the face. I whispered, do not speak any more. Do not say names. We pulled the zipper down just enough to look under the fly. Bare feet stood outside, toes long and dirty. The feet turned slowly, almost like hands. The radio crackled and said, in 3 voices at once, "Let me in." We waited without moving. The fire burned low. The feet left. The voice in the radio went quiet. The next morning, we saw prints around the tent. They looked like footprints, but the big toe was on the wrong side. We walked to the creek. On the bank, we found a little circle of stones and twigs woven into a shape like a mouth. Inside the circle lay our radio batteries, bent in half. 5. The white dog on the highway. This last story is mine again, and I think it connects to the first. I was driving home from a night shift. The road was empty and straight. The desert on both sides was flat like a sheet. A white dog stood by the highway shoulder. Thin as a line, it stared at my car and did not blink. It had a collar made from braided red cloth. I slowed down. The dog stepped into the road and trotted ahead. Not fast, just enough to stay in front of me. I drove at its pace for almost a kilometer. Then it moved aside and vanished into the brush. I felt strange, like someone had touched the back of my neck with a cold finger. I sped up. After a minute, I saw someone ahead on the right shoulder. A man waved both arms. He was tall and thin, wearing a red scarf like the dog's collar. He shouted for help. I rolled down my window a little, but kept my foot ready on the gas. He smiled too wide and said my name in my mother's voice. He said it again in Amir's voice, then in Sanaa's voice, then in my own voice. A second shape crawled out from the ditch on all 4s and stood up slow, like a puppet pulled by strings. Its face looked like mine, but the eyes were flat and dark, and the mouth was too long. The first man leaned in close to my window without bending, as if his spine was a straight stick. He said, "I almost had you in the hospital," he said. "You keep your light too low," he said. "I can smell you." The white dog reappeared in my rearview mirror. It had a limp now. It walked into the road behind my car and stared at the 2 shapes. It made a low, steady growl. The shapes turned their heads to the dog, very slow. The red scarf man opened, his mouth wider and wider, but no sound came. I pressed the gas and did not look back. The road stayed straight. The sky in the east turned grey with morning. When I got home, I washed my hands with salt and soap, like my grandmother taught me when I was a child and scared at night. I locked the doors and put my phone face down. It buzzed. I forced myself not to pick it up. It buzzed again and again. In the afternoon, I finally looked. There were 3 new voice memos. Each was 20 seconds long. In the first one, a voice said, "Let's keep the camera rolling." In the second, Sanaa's mother said, "Beta, come to the creek." In the third, I heard a dry sound like someone dragging a long nail over wood. And then my own voice whispering, "I found you again." I deleted them. I emptied the trash. I threw the phone case away at night when the house is quiet. Sometimes the screen lights up by itself and shows one word on the lock screen. It is my name, and it is spelled right, but written in a font my phone does not have. I turn the phone over and let the light die. If you ever hear your name from the dark, do not answer. If you ever see a face that looks almost like someone you love, but not exactly, do not stare and do not speak. Keep your light low, keep your steps slow. Walk away without running. And if a thin white dog steps into your path and asks you to slow down without a sound, please do it. Respect the warning, because some things are patient, and they remember the taste of your fear. They found me in an abandoned building, and since that night, they know my name. I will not give them my voice again, and I hope you will not give them yours, either.